Yo, what's up? It's Lost Words and welcome back to my channel. This will be the summer 2010. Blah! 2000. Let me start over. I did this one because I didn't want to change a shirt and still wanted to look a little bit different. But my mother actually got this for me for Christmas. Favorite book, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, has a quote in it about how life isn't worth living without a library. And so she got me this infinity scarf, which is super soft, that has that quote on it. And I thought it was fitting to wear, in a book haul video. But either way, without further ado, let's get on to all the books I bought and spent so much money on in summer 2017. So the first book that came in this book box, I haven't read either of these, by the way. I don't even know what they're about, honestly, but this one is The Rattled Bones by S.M. Parker. I'm assuming from like the title and the cover itself, it's probably like a murder mystery. Even though I don't usually read mysteries, I do like a good murder mystery kind of thing. And I'm gonna trust that Paige Havitt gave me a good book and that this is a good up and coming author. And within that same box, the author gets to recommend and give a book, to which she gave Bright Lines, which has LGBTQ themes, I believe. It's about a girl who has been orphaned and then goes to live with relatives, and her going from Bangladesh to Brooklyn and having to deal with cultural barriers, familial barriers, and all that good stuff. Somebody's trying to get in my room. Probably a cat. Let's see who it is. Everyone meet Buddy, who is just turned a year old. She is a foster field cat, which wasn't completely my fault. I previously fostered kittens and she was the last one. And we weren't originally going to adopt her, but what happened was we'd been fostering her for forever, and we called the Humane Society and we're like, hey, shouldn't she come back in to get some shots right around now? And she probably weighs enough to get spayed. And they were like, what cats are you talking about? So basically she had been lost in their records. So I'm looking forward to both of these, even though I had never heard about them previously. So the next one is the Throne of Glass series. Up until Empire of Storms, because Tower of Dawn was not yet out when I bought all of these this summer, because my friend had been begging me to read them. And so I was like, okay, I'll get them. I don't know. It sounds like something I'd like, so why don't I just go and do it? And I did, and then I wound up reading them each in a day over my summer break in between summer semesters at uni. It was kind of awful. I don't think I slept much that week, but I love this series dearly. I won't say much beyond the first book because I would prefer you read them and get your own opinion, but it's basically about this girl, Selena Siddharthian, who is trained from a young age to be an assassin, and in life she assassinates people and then gets set up. She gets caught and thrown in prison, and then she is given a chance to leave prison and instead compete in this game to become the king's champion, so basically like their personal assassin. But since it's basically the only chance she has left to live, she decides to go along with it and compete in the games. From there, the story widely deviates and does a whole bunch of wonderful things, but since that's what the entire first book is about, you should read it. Oh, right. This is by Sarah J. Maas, or Moss. I've heard it both. Nobody get the pitchforks. I mean, I guess since it's a series, I can tell you she doesn't die in the games, because it has 6 books out and there's no plan really of when it ends yet. Because the last book, Tower of Dawn, was really slow, but I still loved it. The next book is Graceling by Kristen Cashore, which I originally picked up because I heard it was kind of similar to Throne of Glass. It is and it isn't. It's a totally different concept, and I think it's very interesting. And in my fall 2017 year in a book haul, or year in book hauls, I don't know how to call this yet. I got the 2 companion novels to this book, there's a book called Fire, which is a prequel, and then Bitter Blue, which is a sequel, which I don't think there's a correct or a incorrect way to read them specifically, because they're like all sort of connected, but Bitter Blue and Graceling are more connected than Fire is to the rest of the trilogy. Hey, what are you doing? Anyways, so I think I'm still debating if I want to read Bitter Blue next or Fire, and I think I'm gonna go with Bitter Blue just because I've already read this one and I will know about the characters more in Bitter Blue, because Fire is about an entire different cast just because these characters don't exist yet. Graceling is about a girl named Katsa, or Katsa, I'm pretty sure it's Katsa, I don't know exactly, but in her world, people are born with specific gifts, and they're called like graces, and therefore they're called gracelings, where people who have these specific abilities can use them for society. Hers, even though she's connected to royals, hers is her ability to kill. And since she's basically just a killing machine, she's kind of stripped of her power and used as a dog of the court. And it follows her story and how she deals with the abuse and things and being forced to kill people when she doesn't really want to kill and all that good stuff. I guess if you're just starting out, you could read Fire, then Graceling, then Bitter Blue, and do it in chronological order. Because I actually haven't looked up what the release order of these were. Maybe that would help. Maybe I should have done that. Next is Hidden Figures, which I haven't read yet. I've started, but haven't read the entire thing, and I'm going to finish it before I even attempt to touch the movie. I've promised myself that. But I just know the concept of this since it's based on real life and what actually happened when getting a first man to the moon. I'm very much so looking forward to it. It's by a famous black author. It's about these strong black women and who are basically genius mathematicians and engineers. This is the only book I willingly bought the movie cover of just because I love the actresses that they used and cast for this movie so much. I've seen the movie trailer. I saw it for the first time in theater and I almost broke down crying. Well, I did shed some tears. Like, I was actually crying. I wasn't like sobbing or anything, but I was crying in the theater at the trailer because this book meant so much to me. My cat just knocked stuff over. That's what cats do. Okay, the next two books are, I'm gonna say them together because I bought them at the same time and they're both by Rainbow Rowell. And this one I know you should read Fangirl and then Carry On, because Carry On is basically the fanfiction novel that gets written by the main character in Fangirl. I have read Fangirl, I haven't read Carry On. I just haven't gotten around to it, even though I'm sure I'm going to love it to bits. I borrowed it originally from the library and loved it so much that I bought the collector's edition just because it's the collector's edition and it's cute and it has really fantastic fan art on the inside. Let's see, I think it's here, and then it's also back here. They're beautiful. I love fan art so much. Fangirl is about a girl named Kath who has a twin named Rin. That rhymed, sorry. But they are both going off to college, and Kath is more of an introverted type. She doesn't really know how to socially interact with people, and she's having a hard time coping with it. Not only that, but she likes to spend the majority of her time dedicated to her very, very popular online fan fiction about this book series inside this universe. It's not an actual series, but it's about this kid named Simon who's a magician. I guess it's kind of like the Harry Potter of this world. It's basically the Harry Potter in this world. It's about her adjusting to college and her situation and adjusting to making new friends. And her pursuing her own writing because she has, of course, doubts about if she can make it as a writer. Just because her fanfiction is popular doesn't mean she actually has skills. Doesn't mean she actually has. Yeah, I said that correctly. What am I doing? So it's a retelling of Snow White. I believe I'm going to love it. I haven't read it yet. I just got it as a bargain off of Books A Million, so I picked it up and I was like, gotta get it now. My camera keeps shutting off and I don't know why. But anyways, without further ado, The Glittering Court. It's about a royal who she gets cast out of her title, I guess, and then she kind of re-enters society as a peasant, basically, and then goes to the Glittering Court, which I guess is like a training, something like a training camp for like peasants to try and be royals or something. It's kind of complicated. I haven't actually read it yet, but I'm sure I'm going to love it just because I like Rochelle Meade's writing, and I like novels like this at the current moment where it's just about corrupt rich people and them getting what they deserve, I guess. The last book on the summer 2017, A Year in Book Hauls, is The Diabolic by Kincaid. This book, yet another one, YA fantasy, where the main girl's a killer, she's in a corrupt society, and she apparently does something about it. Haven't read it yet. I've heard it's a lot more brutal, like there's a lot more guts and gore in this one compared to other fantasy novels of this type. I will move on to the fall/winter book haul and the final book haul of this series, and then hopefully my shelves will look a lot prettier to you guys because they will all be back up. That's about it for this one. Last words out.